Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the official Trade Talk channel, where I show you how I analyze price for the most consistent and higher probable entries to help you all become better traders. We got the S&P 500 breaking out right now, making a fresh high of day. It isn't as bullish as Bitcoin is. It is only up 1.4%. We have Bitcoin up 5.8% on the day. Ethereum at 4.47%. We have the USD JPY at 0.14%. Also, DXY pulling down back under green on the day. It is now at 0.34%, but trending much higher. So let's go over here to the dollar real quick. As the S&P 500 is coming off of the high of day, you can see we currently have the dollar here. Let me see, what have I done here? What's going on? I was trying to show just how parabolic the trend has gotten on the dollar throughout time. And last week we had a really big move to the upside. There's your last week candle. I mean, that looks like a legit breakout to me. And you also are green on the week as of right now. Today trading as an inside day. Bitcoin, Ethereum, S&P 500 all trading at the high of day. This looks really good for Ethereum. You can clearly see that you have a channel here. You did close under the channel there, and then you have basically held it by getting back above it and now ascending to the upside. So what do we got going on here? Is risk finally found the lows? Are we basically bullish at this point? On Bitcoin, I think that it's safe to say that you have broken out. You have taken out any bearish momentum pivots. The momentum pivot that I was watching yesterday was this bullish candle's close. I wanted to see a close below it in order to keep the bearishness going. Getting above that obviously changed my bias around. So yeah, we are looking for price to consistently trade higher from here. But one thing is first, we got to see if it checks support and does it hold. As you can see here, you do have a breakout of an inverse head and shoulders. This pattern was built on the 8-hour time frame. You can see shoulder, head, shoulder, traded sideways for a little bit, and then finally broke out. You do have a perfect measured move of this breakout. So if you just take this over here like that, put it up on the breakout area, you can see that you've almost tagged a measured move to perfection. That does put you above 8, 4, and daily resistance. 4-hour, 8-hour, and daily resistance. So this is a really good breakout. Yeah, that's about all one can say. Yesterday and the day before that, we inside of the Trade Talk Discord were watching daily support here. The other day we had multiple opportunities to get long down here at daily support. Where do you typically want to get long if you are bullish on an asset? Support. You want to get long at support. And you can see right here, the last 2-3 days, you had an opportunity to get long. All right, so now you don't want to get long up here, but unfortunately, with retail, that's exactly what they're doing. So if I pull out the volume profile here, you can see the blue is bids, the yellow is sells. You see where the point of control is? That's where the most of the volume has traded inside of today's range. And that's at the high of day. I mean, pretty close to the high of day. People are buying this. All right. I don't suggest you buy this. You should have bought daily support if you were going to be a buyer. Yesterday, it did look like the sellers were going to maintain the downside. They were building up volume right there around the top end of the daily range. And boom, last night you get your breakout. And it happened pretty much on the open. So at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's when you open up on this asset with a fresh new daily range. That was straight up, and that was the first hour that you were able to close above that descending trend line. And you've gotten follow through. So now what we must do is we wait for support. If you are bullish on this asset and you are looking for places to buy, we will go over that today. And if we can get in a short trade, we will be watching USD JPY. It doesn't make sense to be bullish on Bitcoin and trying to short this, though. That basically puts the bias on edge with each other. Obviously, if you're going to be bullish on Bitcoin, then you want to see dollar weakness. So in dollar yen here, or US dollar JPY, I'm sorry, is the asset that we are watching. And the only reason that we're watching this asset is because it did give us a very big, crazy candle here the other day. But you can see yesterday you closed right back above resistance. And today it looks like you're going to get some follow through here. So is this an area to get short on Bitcoin if you are expecting the dollar to continue higher? Yes, it is. It is another higher high. And if you are a seller, you do want to sell highs. You don't want to sell lows. You don't want to sell into support. You want to sell into resistance. Right now, you have a lot of strength in the market. You got another 30 minutes before the New York session comes to an open. Daily resistance, the highest daily resistance is setting at 20227.77. This is the area that you want to see Bitcoin close under today. So if you were to take a short position up here, you would wait for the liquidation of the daily high. We have already done that. This was your day high right there. We were also watching the S&P 500. Both of them climbing. Boom. This white line right there is your high of day. You can see here how you blasted above the high of day. So liquidated any early shorts. Anybody that got short over here, they are now liquidated. More than likely, they trailed their stop to the high of day. And consistently, these assets consistently liquidate highs and lows of days. So if you're going to wait, or if you're going to short an asset, you want to do it when you get that liquidation. It is a very risky time to take the short because you are shorting into strength at the high of day. But we've seen it time and time again where assets will go liquidate the high of day and then roll over for the majority of the rest of the day. And it does appear as if though we're kind of getting that move right now. All right. The area on the platform Bitget was, the high of day was 20380, and that's going to stay the high of day maybe. That just happened 25 minutes ago. We took a short earlier on this asset, but when we closed above the hourly resistance, this is not even Bitcoin. Give me 1 second. Right here was the hourly resistance. You can see right there was the hourly resistance. We can put the line on there. And then you got another closure above it right there. So that's typically not when you want to look for shorts. We typically want to see resistance hold on a closing basis on the hourly candles. But the high of day was still intact at that point. So what we wanted to see is we wanted to wait for Bitcoin and the S&P 500 to both liquidate the high of day. And we've gotten that move right now. So if you are going to take a short on Bitcoin, you want to do it somewhere up in here and throw your stop above the high of day. Make sure you're not risking an amount of money that you cannot afford to lose. You always trade with an amount of money that you can afford to lose. All right, so let me get over here, see what's cooking. All right. Good mornings. And a good evening from Bradley, as he is on the other side of the world. All right, so I am in Florida, and we do have our hurricane heading this way. So if I don't go live on Thursday, it will more than likely be because I don't have electricity. I am not in the eye of the storm. It is not heading for me. I am in a good area where I currently live, so there's no concern whatsoever for me outside of potentially losing electricity. So, so that's that. All right, not much questions yet. So we're just watching Bitcoin here. I have thrown on a short position there once the S&P 500 made the high. That's basically what I was waiting on. I didn't want to short Bitcoin with the S&P 500 not making that high yet. So let me get this off because we know where the point of control is. It's at the top end of the range, which is typically where we want to see it. It is by volume, though. It is bids. People are buying the highs. So that's another reason why I kind of think that you may roll over here. DXY pushing up this morning again, which is also consistent with looking for short entries on the coin itself. So yeah, throw your stop above the high of day and make sure you don't risk more than you can lose. Afford to lose. Please do not come at this thinking that you're going to make $1 million today, because you will not. Trading is about taking base hits, getting all your bases loaded. That way, when you do finally one day nail the top of an awesome day trade and knock it out of the park, you end up doing good, closing the week out green, which is always what we strive to do on this channel. We are looking for consistent, profitable returns, and we get them. All right, so current short entry for me on the Bitget platform. There is a link in the description. If you want to trade, day trade cryptos, you should use Bitget. It has the cheapest fees than any other brokerage / exchange in the world. They have the cheapest fees. They have no KYC, so you can streamline, put from money or Bitcoin or whatever from cold storage to the exchange, make a couple trades, then take the money off exchange back to your cold storage wallet with just an email. No KYC. Also, they are running some kind of a promotion right now where they will depending on how much money you put, you can get up to $4,000 of free trading capital. It is real money. Link in the description. Make sure you use code XTSC. X-Ray Tango Sierra Charlie. All right, so my entry on that for the short trade currently is 20346 spot 50. That's $20,346.50. That is my short entry. That means as of right now, compared to where my entry versus stop is, I am setting roughly at a 2.5 to 1 risk to reward already. And we haven't even started to move yet. This is the reason why I like to trade this way, right? It's easy to generate consistent returns when you know when to take orders, when to place the trade. That is crucial. That is what you must learn. Patience, when to take the trade. I am going to try to let it run a little bit lower, though, because like I said earlier, we did jump in it, not being patient. So a loss on that one. I would like to get that back and generate a little bit of profits today. That way we can close this out. We can close out this live stream with a profitable trade. Good morning. There's that trend line res from November. Yeah, there is that as well. Absolutely. We can take a look at that. Here, let me put it on the big screen. What he is talking about is this right here. This trend line coming in there. It's only off log. If you put it on log, that trend line is nowhere to be found. But off log, yeah, you do got it coming in there. And if I take it off of the wicks and put it on, like, say, a candle body, that's going to put that trend line right into price. All right. But that's the trend line Mr. Tom is referring. If you were unaware, it's been there since we made the 2022 fresh yearly high. That's also where we were bearish as well. It's not very good getting bearish down at the lows. I hate it. But it's just a day trade. It's just a friendly scalp is all it is. Coming back into daily resistance right now, we definitely want to see price start to trend away from this. You may find support here. You may find support there. There's really nothing else in there on the hourly. Let's drop down a couple time frames here to see where we did have some bearish candles, because those are the areas you want to be aware of, because those are the areas where typically price will find support. You have potential support at around $20,000, almost perfect right here. $19,994.46. And then you have another area of potential support down here at $19,707. That bearish pivot that we had to get above was 19,400, and you did blast right through it yesterday evening. So it does look good, but like I said, if the sellers are still going to be here, because let's face it, the bonds and Forex is screaming risk. I mean, you got bonds going to the moon. You got some FX pairs such as pound and euro getting absolutely slaughtered. So and also the Dow Jones Industrial Index on Friday made fresh yearly lows. So the market is a little bit bearish. We are starting to get that push away from the high of day. If you did get an entry up at the high of day, you could go ahead and start taking some profits. You do want to shed your risk as price moves in your direction. It is just a scalp. I understand it hasn't really moved, but you have moved away from the high of day. My entry is 20346. That looks like this. That is my entry. Stop would be here, right? So if I set this up, you can see that I am clearly better than 2-to-1 risk to reward. That is a 3.21 to 1 risk to reward. You could start taking profits on this move lower and leave a little bit on for downside continuation. If we are indeed going to see the market collapse today, then you will be positioned perfectly to ride that baby to Nowheresville. All right? That's the whole purpose of this strategy, to get executions that tight, that beautiful, absolutely divine. That is the short entry. Let's make it red because that's what it is. Stop is there. Take profits if you took that entry. And then move your stop to break even or better than break even. That way you have zero risk on the table and you are positioned good and you've already paid yourself for taking the risk. So do it now. And then, like I said, if today was nothing more than an opportunity for sellers to re-engage, especially since you have people buying the high, I do look for price to roll away from that, because what price does is it is an advertising mechanism. That's what it is. It is advertising to you to make you FOMO into this. You want to change your mindset to do this consistently and good. You got to change that mindset. You have to understand that that's nothing but what it is. It's to generate people's volumes. Gets the volumes, and then the market typically will go off to hurt the most. That's why you've seen the British pound getting absolutely annihilated. The last 2 days, you've seen a 9% move to the downside. The reason for that, 8.24% to the downside on the pound 2 days ago, is because of 78% of retail traders was long. 78% of retail was trying to pick a bottom on this. And that is a cascading of liquidations. Now, it could turn around. I don't think it will, because Europe's in bad shape. Euro done pretty much the same thing. Cascaded down away from parity. Traded for many weeks at parity and then finally rolled over thanks to the dollar breaking out and going to the moon. On gold, you have a beautiful double top formation, and it has a measured move as well. That's the one thing that people do look for when they are looking at patterns. If you go out to the weekly here, you're going to see it. This beautiful double top formation here, that's a measured move. So you could potentially see gold drop all the way down to roughly well, let's just call it $1,300. Plenty of meat left on that bone for it to go lower. Do I know if it will or not? No, obviously I don't. And you don't want to sell a fresh breakdown. What you need to wait on is you need to wait on a level of retest. These are weeklies, so I don't know if I would look for that. Maybe look for this region here, 1664, 410. That would be the first place where I would start to look for those short entries if price trades back up there. Or, I mean, it could hold where it is right now because it is close to testing yesterday's open. And if there is going to be much more downside momentum here, then you could see it stall out right there. Bitcoin continuing to push lower. All those people getting long up at the high of day, they're getting liquidated right now. DXY pushing back up into an old swing high of today. I can't give you volume profiles on DXY as they don't give volume for this. But definitely I want to see you guys taking profits on this move lower, please, because the asset is bullish. USD JPY pushing up, not giving us a short trade on it this morning, basically because of the close there. I was watching the last highest resistance here. That's where I was looking for my short entry. When you start trading above it, you got to give it the respect it needs or deserves, and it's a good thing we didn't take it because look at that close. DXY pushing up to the near high of day and getting into resistance. So yesterday's close is going to potentially act as an area of resistance because people will be trying to short it because the dollar is uber extended. It is overbought on the weekly, monthly, and quarterly time frames. I'll show you that here. There you go. Overbought on the quarterly time frame. Overbought on the monthly time frame. Overbought on the weekly time frame. Overbought on the daily time frame and the half-day time frame. It is very extended. So yeah, keep that in mind as well when looking for fresh shorts. But taking shorts like that, I mean, you're situated beautifully. That's all you're trying to do. We can take profits on this short, move our stops to break even, take all of our risk off the table, and then if it does want to roll over, we'll be situated beautifully for it. And if the dollar decides it wants to roll over and gives Bitcoin more bid, then you will be stopped out. But it's okay because you already paid yourself. Fantastic. That's the way to do it. All right, so let's get Ethereum up here and see what it's doing. I do want to keep an eye on it as well as risk. Yeah, so fresh high of day, nice close lower on the hourly. We got 20 minutes left on the open. This thing could absolutely shoot right back up. There is your intraday resistance, which is at $3,703. You can see how we made this push at the London session, made a fresh high of day, and in 2 hours rolled over. That's a pretty bearish reaction. So people would have been watching this area for potential short entries, 36.8790. You can see how you just blasted right through that level. That means you put people off sides. Then you trade right up to the other resistance, make a fresh high of day, and then pull back. So this is the line in the sand, 3703.80. An hourly close above that means more than likely you're going to see more bullish price action today. Remember, it is up on the day. Ethereum's up 3.77%. Bitcoin's up 4.75%. S&P 500 up 1.25%. The SPY isn't open yet, but it will look like that intraday. The VIX pushed up to $32 for the first time since the June lows were put in the other day, but you can see that it is having a bit of difficulty and keeping it bullish. But you have an intraday support level right here that is holding, and that price is $30.71. If the VIX starts its climb again, its ascension, then we will likely see more or new bear market lows on the S&P 500. But we can go over here to the indices watch list and pull up the US 30, as that is your Dow Jones Industrial Index. And you can see that it is, or it has made a fresh bear market low for 2022 right there. Yesterday you got downside continuation and made a fresh low. This morning or today you are getting a bounce. But once again, you are into potential resistance in yesterday's open. And you did not liquidate yesterday's high either, so there could still be more bullish price action today. This does not mean, this pullback here on the Bitcoin does not mean that it is going to roll over for the rest of the day. We just take our trades at these high probable areas. So we've done good for today. Made that money, pushed that risk out of the market by moving our stops to break even. And now if it rolls over, we're going to be situated just beautifully. Okay, let me try this. All right, situated. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. There's that trend line. Yep, small gap in the DXY on the 1 minute, $114 will fill when the open happens. Good morning, everybody else. Heath the Great loves it when called the boss. Smells of fresh maple. Okay. Bitcoin CME Futures above $21,000. My monthly res. That's a good thing. What's up, K4 Liberty? Loving it, Lachey or Lachey. Ahmed, what's happening, my friend? When did you take the short on the stream? It was when we had the music going. It's when the S&P 500 and Bitcoin both were at the high of day. So Bitcoin pushed up at the high of day right here, made a fresh high of day, but at this point in time, the S&P 500 had not made that high of day yet. So I took the entry on the 5-minute candle for the S&P 500 that pushed up and made a fresh high of day. That is when I deployed the short on Bitcoin. So let me show you here and the exact time. So this was the high of day right here. So you can see right here at 8:45 a.m. We went live at 8:30. Bitcoin did not, on that same candle pushed up, did not make a high of day. It had already made a high of day or a fresh high of day at 8:20 a.m. So at 8:45 is when I threw the short position out there. And I got filled at 20,346 spot 50. We just needed the S&P 500 to make a high. You can see how it based up under the high there. That's a pretty good signal or a pretty good indication that you're going to take out the high, right? And it did. And as soon as it did, it rolled over. That's the kind of reaction I typically want to see. But with it being bullish, this is considered a pullback and people will be trying to buy it, right? That's why we have to be quick on taking profits. I mean, with that entry and the stop, you've seen that it was over a 3-to-1 risk to reward, which is a fantastic trade. If you're risking 2%, that's 6%, right? Depending on what leverage you're using and all that, it is probably much more. People like to over leverage their positions. I am not bearish on it. It just gave us that opportunity to take the short. What we were simply looking for is a bounce off of the high. Because you will typically get that, right? Liquidations will occur above that high. Or low, for instance. If you're looking for long entries, wait for the previous day's low to get smoked and then enter that long position. This was just a liquidation of today's high. That's all. The daily high, which happened at the London session. But you are getting a little bit of a bounce here. So taking profits is advised. If you haven't yet, do it soon. This asset is bullish. And I don't like it when you do something like this and go right back to it, right? It just smells of like people are going to be looking to be a buyer here. That's going to be considered demand. And you're bullish on the day. So this is just a pullback. Film Garden, I got in the short a little late, so I moved my stop just above my break even for a position that is less likely to be stopped out. Well, I mean, if Bitcoin continues to move up, it's going to stop everybody out. If it makes a new high of day, I will be stopped out. My new girlfriend is meeting her boat in Florida today. Is meeting delivered from Canada. Only costs 1 Bitcoin to get it to Florida. I guess we'll be visiting Florida soon. Nice. Yeah, it's expensive to haul a boat. If it's a big boat, especially. Anything bigger than 30 feet, it's going to cost a lot of money to move, depending on how far it's going. Yeah, for sure. But there's a lot of guys down here that make a lot of money just transporting boats back and forth from up north to down here. Because you have a lot of people that live in New York and in northern areas that like to come down here for the winter. Because down here in the wintertime, it could be 70 degrees and sunny. Beautiful weather in the winter we have down here. Not so beautiful in the summer because you get sunburnt every single day. I don't remember what that line is. Let's go see. Oh, yeah, daily res. We kind of wanted to see if we're going to. Obviously, we're not going to be able to see the close until 8 o'clock p.m. tonight, but this is the area where we want to see it close under. If it closes above it, then it looks like it's going to look for higher prices. But you can see here how you push down into this. That's demand right there. See that? That's why you're bouncing. That's why we wanted to take profits on the move lower. Because we don't know what price will do. We're successful in this game, but we still don't know what price will do. Your favorite follow on Twitter, your favorite follow on YouTube, they don't know what price is going to do. Maybe they have a profitable strategy that allows them to be market operators, such as myself. It's just doing the same thing over and over and over again. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. But you are getting a bounce from demand here. Right back up in the daily resistance. Obviously, it'd be nice for it to roll over here. We got 10 minutes till the open. Big boat, he says. So probably over 30 feet. Ethereum is like uber bullish. It's right back up near the high of day. So the move on Ethereum was brief. 15 minutes is all. But you can see, I mean, it was getting choppy up there as well. Starting to get more volatile. The candles get bigger. We'll see if it rolls over or not. That would be great. Like I said, as that's what we're positioned for. But sometimes you eat a stop because you can make money but still be on the wrong side of the market. pound is up almost almost up 0.7% on the day. That is big recovery. And it's even coming off. So it looks like the trend to the downside on the pound wants to resume lower. And the dollar's down on the day, but did make a push. Let's see if it can hold that. It was a support test on the dollar, and it found it, and it went right there. Test, 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 up. So I missed my take profit. I didn't get filled. I had a take profit set at 21.37 after it had already started to bounce away. I may move it up just a tad to get it filled, because the most important aspect of scalping the markets is making your money and then getting your risk out of there. Get it gone. This is the best way to do it, because we can't see into the future. And when you're a trader, you are a market operator. You are a risk mitigator. That's all you're doing. You're learning where and what time to take those entries. There we go. I just got filled on it. I took 70% of the original position off. I banked a nice chunk of change. Now I will push my stop to 203.46, and we will be done for the day. So I made back the money on the original position. 203.4650. That's where I want my stop, and I want to be out 100% if it pushes back up there. So voila. And I still have a significant amount of money on the trade open for downside continuation. However, that's all I'm risking now is unrealized P&L. That is it. No risk. My account is in no danger of getting any losses. We have already banked some cash. That's what we want. The XY trying to push back up, but it's going to struggle more than likely at daily resistance. I think that's what Ray was talking about. Was it Ray? No. Thoughts on ETH BTC? Let's go look at it, since we're just relaxing, all cool. Let's get it on the off the 5 minute here. What is all this? All right. So ETH BTC rolled over at weekly resistance, and you're still trading at the lows. There's where weekly resistance is. You can see how you pushed up into weekly resistance, and you tested weekly resistance for 4 days. First test, second, third, fourth. But that was a decent place for entries to the downside. That would have been the best trade in hindsight to take. Right? But you would have been expecting that. And you're off almost 20% also from that. It's 19.15%. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's wanting to look for lower prices. It is holding resistance. In fact, you got a bearish engulfing on the daily right now. You took out yesterday's high and yesterday's low. So you do have a bearish engulfing on the daily. If it does start to trade away, because Bitcoin is up more than Ethereum right now, then this will be the line to watch for potential short entries in the week to come, right? Later on down the road. But you got to close under it. If you close above it, then it could still find support. because just because you traded above and below support and resistance, it really hasn't given you anything yet. So there's resistance and here's support. So you're just kind of trading in a wedge here. A close under will give you what you need to look for a downside continuation. But resistance is where you take entries always if you're shorting. You're looking at resistance for shorts. You're looking at support for longs. And trying to be on the right side of the market with the trend, the overall trend. Being a day trader, we don't need to know what happened a week ago. We just need to know what happened the last 3 days. And Bitcoin found support, bounced off support. You're getting bullish continuation. So the short trade isn't the best trade. Buying daily support was the best trade. And we were at daily support for 4 days. So, I mean, you have plenty of time. Intraday, it was difficult. Intraday, it was difficult to buy that level. You can see here, you have many hourly candles trading under it. And you were wedging up as well. So we knew it was going to break in one direction or the other. We just didn't know which direction. And it broke out to the upside. But this will, longer term, this will provide a selling opportunity, because you can see here, here is your trend, right? Your trend is down. So maybe this ain't the area for the selling opportunity. Maybe it's up here. We'll see in a few days, right? But being a market operator, an intraday market operator, that means we operate inside of the daily range every single day. It is always beautiful when you're on the right side of the trend, because with this strategy you get like laser sharp entries. Sometimes you will top tick the high or low of day, right? Occasionally you will catch that. On the USDC side of the Bitget platform, I'll bring it over here and show you that entry. We might as well go on up to the 4-hour time frame, because that's where it was taken. Right there was the short entry, right? You can see I have my trailing stop loss down here above this wick, because that's the highest wick. And I honestly thought I was going to be stopped out. So you couldn't get anything going to the downside, so it's natural that you got the spike up. But like I said, this will encourage sellers to step back up. And that was a very laser-focused targeted entry. And if this ends up being the high, right, and you get 2-3 days worth of downside continuation, I'm going to have another entry right there to show you 3 days from now. But if it breaks down, if it comes back up, it's going to stop me out. But I can't lose money on the trade no more. We are risk mitigators, and we have mitigated that risk. So now we can just set on our hands and see what happens from there. It'd be nice to get downside continuation, but it's very bullish today. Very bullish. And struggling at demand. If I can get it on there, come on. And we just had the open, so let's see what happens from here. Twice you bounced off demand here. S&P 500, it pushed down. Did it push into a demand or a support? It pushed into this, but that's such a big candle, I wouldn't look at it as demand. There's nothing there, so maybe, nope. No, there's literally nothing. I guess all you could say is that would have been supply. Demand there, but it broke down. Broke back up, come back in and tested it. Right there. That's where it found support. Bitcoin getting a nice bid on the New York Open at hourly intraday demand. Let's see if it continues or not. Like I said, it's very bullish. This white line is daily resistance. Ethereum is up 4.25%. Bitcoin is up 5%. That's based on this right there. But we're going to go back over to Ethereum here. Oh, wait. Big, strong day. Ethereum's daily resistance is there. Pushing up into this right here. This is the last up close candle and a down move, so that will be looked at as supply or an order block or whatever you want to call it. But it's the same concept. And there's the high of day on ETH. It's pushing right back up to it. SPY opens up with a gap. Up around yesterday's high. That could be the target. Would be my target if I was looking to buy that. That's a nice 5-minute candle on the open. It's a pretty good move there. RB said it. Small gap in DXY. Yeah, this is a nice move. If Bitcoin closes above resistance today, we will be looking to buy support moving forward. But we'll have to have a couple days of downside in order to get to a support area. Yo, what's up, Trade Talk? Welcome, Aaron. I'm just going over the comments real quick to see if I forgot anything important. My CME chart is lagged by 15 minutes, so it's going to show it that it's still down. But remember, guys, the CME chart did take out the bear market lows. It did make fresh 2022 lows here on that day right there, 19th of September. You made fresh bear market lows. And then again on September the 22nd. Couldn't get any downside continuation. I mean, support held. That's all you could say about this. And the selling subsided. Sellers don't typically look to take short entries into support. Give this a couple days of bullishness. Let it trade up to perhaps the supply up there at 21,490. I mean, this is the end of the month, too. It's the 27th. We got 3 days left on the month. And 3 days and 11 hours to be exact. This will also start Q4. All right? We got a fresh Q4 coming up. And that's what Bitcoin looks like on the quarter for Q3. A doji. But green. Green is good. There it is. You just got green on the quarter. Last 3 days of the quarter, and you finally got green again. Let's see what happens with it. But we could be potentially looking for the low of the quarter. All right, it's pushing up, right back up to the highs. There we go. Getting ready to get stopped out. That is why you take profits and move your stop. You want continuation, but it's a very bullish asset. Just today, this asset is not bullish. It is absolutely bearish. I misspoke. Today, it's bullish today. There's no news or anything out that would cause it to be bullish. We did have some high impact news this morning at 8:30 in the durable goods. I don't pay attention to the durable goods. It doesn't really do anything for me. 0.2% beat. So you're seeing that's bullish. At 10 o'clock, we have CB consumer confidence. Not something I pay attention to either. However, it is a high event news risk or a high event risk. S&P 500 found support, trading right back up to the high of day. And there we go, right there. Simple. It's bullish. If you look at Bitcoin on the hourly, the last 4 hours, all of them have consistently closed higher. There's your break above resistance. Apologies. Here's resistance. There's your break above it with a higher close. Next hourly session, higher close. Next hourly session, higher close. And this is the one we're currently on. 20 minutes until this candle closes. But it looks like it is going to close higher as well. That is the exact definition of a bullish asset. What's up, Brandon? Fed Evans came out and said that he's nervous about breaking things, hiking too fast, so that caused Bitcoin to be bullish. Maybe it just wants to liquidate the high of day again. I don't know. We'll see. The trade that we took already is going to be stopped out. It's as simple as that. But we made money, right? That's it. That's what our job is as traders. Enter the position, take your money, and then whatever happens, happens. But yeah, the Fed speakers are good at breaking things. For sure. Love it. Let me get the CME Futures off the chart because, like I said, it's 15 minutes lag. That looks bad. You got a gap above you there at 373. Nice solid 15-minute push on SPY. The S&P 500 has made fresh daily highs. Bitcoin is lagging. But I do expect it to do it as well. Yeah, so that's going to be it for today, guys. Nice job on anybody that took the trade. Fantastic stuff. Let me look at something else here. Aussie CAD was a trade that I thought was going to work out for the long term. We are pushing lower, but it did make a bull trap there above resistance. I called out the short here, though. On the 12th of September, I called the short out. It did work out the next day. It was a beautiful move down. We did make money on it. But, 7-8 days later, it comes right back up to the entry, smokes the short entry, and then rolls over. I have a longer-term downside target on this of 0.87365. So if you do want to watch this for short entries, the next place that we're watching will be there if it gets back up there. But you've been bouncing at support for 3 days now. It's likely going to break soon. We'll have to wait and see. But Bitcoin did break above all my bearish pivots. So it's going to be difficult to buy this just because we got the bounce from support. We took out all the supports. We took out the monthly support, the weekly support, and with this close here, we took out the lowest daily support. And then Sunday night, we took out weekly support with the closure. But we're trading above last week's high, so that makes last week's close a trap. So we can look to be a buyer back down at 19,291. You did make last week's close a trap. You have taken out the high of last week. That's kind of a bullish signal. That would be a more powerful signal in an uptrend, obviously. If that occurs in an uptrend, you break and close below support, and then you set a trap. Much better signal. I did not get stopped out yet for some reason. Bitcoin has not made a fresh daily high, even though you have on the S&P 500. So we'll be still sitting nice if the S&P 500 was just to liquidate the high it just made on that Fed news. So thank you, Brandon, for coming in and letting us know about that. Glad I could catch the end. I've been on the replay crew a lot lately. Thank you for being there. I appreciate that. Mornings are hectic for me. Yeah, I understand. I understand. I'm losing my voice. I got some things to do today in preparation. Thank you, baby. We don't need two spies, though, do we? For sure. Ethereum didn't make a high of day either. Nice. Let's see. What is the VIX doing this morning? Pushing lower. There comes the rain. VIX pushing lower. Let's see if there's any supports. Right there, you're under what should be support. So watch the close on the VIX today. If the VIX closes above 3071, it could suggest that this was just that, a shorting opportunity. And we will be positioned nicely for it if that ends up being the case today. Thanks, Fed, for coming out saying that you're scared. That's one really good way to pump the markets. Yeah, see, you're right back above support. That's intraday support. That's not daily support, though. You could push all the way down to here on the daily. You could see you did that yesterday. Pushed all the way down, and then you got the bounce, but it couldn't make it back up to the open before finding resistance again. So it may test 29.91 again. And upon closing back above 21.91, that'd be a good thing. Good place to look for some VIX calls, potentially. That is, if it closes above 29.91. And you'll know that if you're watching the market at the end of the day, right before the close. It closes at 4 p.m. You could basically see what it's doing intraday. But you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's just intraday stuff where you're currently at. We'll see if we got any higher time frame, lower supports. That's also 2-hour support and 4-hour support, 8-hour support as well. So that's going to be a very good confluence area for the VIX calls, $30.73 upon a closure above. We shall see. Are you prepared well for the coming storm? I am. Yeah, I got about 15 cases of water. I'm not supposed to, it's not supposed to hit me, the eye of the storm, which that's what you're most concerned about in a hurricane, is because, 50 miles all the way around the eye is where the most powerful winds is and rain. So the eye of the storm is going to miss me. I'm just going to get the outer bands, and those outer bands can come with very high wind gusts as well. So what we're mostly concerned about is a power outage. Our lives are not in danger. We are safe. They are not evacuating my county. But we are a coastal town. We are on the coast. And we also have a river. So we got 2 bodies of water on the coast. Hutchinson Island is basically protection from storm surge. I'm a good 3 miles off the ocean. Maybe further, actually. No, I think it's about 3 miles. Yep, we're safe. We're prepared. We got canned foods and stuff like that, but I have outside cooking equipment as well. We're good. That it doesn't require electricity. We are safe. I'll go pick up a generator today, and that way I can keep my refrigerator running if we do lose power. Yeah, we're coming back off here. This is a 15-minute time frame on the SPX index. Got the 5-minute up here on the SPY. There's your current low of day on the SPY. It is not the low of day on the SPX, though. You can pull up the volume profile and find your low of day quickest. So down here is going to be the low of day on the SPX. So you're still trading at the highs, right? Low of day is all the way down there. You're still at the highs. Even with Bitcoin, you're still trading at the highs. These are the highs. The VIX is currently holding support. And I mean, you could arguably call that a bull flag, right? It's not a very pretty one, but it is what it is. Something like that. Fresh low day on the SPY almost. That puts our short position in good shape still. Love it. For anybody that's just coming into the stream, we did take a short position. We got filled at 20,346, right when the S&P 500 made a fresh daily high and then rejected. That was our short entry right there. Boom. No, sorry, over here. This was the replay. This was when we took the short entry on Bitcoin. So on this candle here. And we did take profits down into here based on hourly demand, where it bounced from there. There's your wick. On the 5-minute, it looks like that. Test, test. So naturally, we want to see it break down and then make a lower high, maybe tomorrow or something, wherever today closes will be resistance for tomorrow entries. Oh, let's go look at Link real quick, because we did have that on watch for a short, but it probably got bullish when Bitcoin did. It did. So a link has broken out above resistance. Yeah, short trade denied. Now would be a good time to take a short on link, actually, because you liquidated that swing high right there. So if you reject on link, you could use today's high as your risk. Entry for the short would be $8.30. It's going to make your stop a lot wider, but I would wait for the breakdown, maybe like an hourly close under it. You do have a beautiful hourly res right there, so wait for an hourly close under 8.30, then look to sell a retest, and stop would be the high day. It'd be a longer term short. It's because it has been bullish for the last 6 days. So you're up off the lows. That's only if Bitcoin rolls over. So what we typically like to do is we look for alts that are outperforming. If Bitcoin is looking like it's going to remain bearish, you go find an altcoin that's, up really good, and then look to short that baby. On the Bitget exchange, everything is bullish. Loon C was up almost 80% yesterday. Let's see what it did. You're just barely coming off today. But from low to high, 80% move. So yeah, that would have been a shortable one for sure. But be careful, because the last time I traded this, I got slipped all over the place. I mean, a good 20 different price points. I'd get filled with 100 here, 300 there, 684 here, 297 there, until I finally was in the position. Not a lot of liquidity in this. But it closed under daily res as well. So watch daily res tomorrow. If you get a bounce back up to 0.0003132, that could be a good spot to look for short entries. It's kind of a far way away, but that would be the only place I would be willing to take a short on it. And it's down 10% today. You got Uni up 11% on the day. Up really nice today. Looks just like Bitcoin. This one is up off the lows of a good piece too. The bear market lows. Yeah, you're up almost 100% off the bear market lows. This would be a good one to watch for potential short entries moving forward. That is obviously if and only if Bitcoin regains its weakness. There's daily resistance right there. Beautiful. I would hate that of taking that entry though, is watching this thing trade sideways for 6 hours after entry. Give it a little bit of time. GMT is up 10%. STG USDT, I have no clue what that is. It is up 20. Oh, no, it just changed. Never mind. I must have looked at it wrong. Yeah, it's not up that big today. Huh. I thought it said it was up 20%. And that's about it on the runners. You got Uni up 11%. GMT up 11%. Bitcoin's up 5%. Neo USDT up 10%. 9.88%. Nice big move on Neo. Your trend, you're well above resistance. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So put those on your watch lists if you missed the Bitcoin short. We won't know if the Bitcoin short is going to be a good short until we have enough time. But we will see. A demand zone's tough. It's holding. VIX, nice bounce off intraday support. This down here would be daily support. All right, I'll read up some of these comments. All the golden nuggets. Yeah, you're welcome. Would you short a retest of 21,420 if it got up there this week? 21,420. Let me go see what that is. Oh, you're meaning supply? Yeah, probably. You said 21,420. I don't know what that is. It's an old resistance. Close to an old resistance. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe. You have supply right there. That would be the level to watch. But if you just blast off and you get up there in the next 2 days, I will not like it for a short, because just straight from bullish momentum, you don't want to short something that's got a ton of momentum to the upside. So I would need to see it fail there at least a day, then look for the next day to retest it and then potentially get you short. But obviously, you got a long ways to go before you get there. You got to get above this daily resistance for now. I mean, that's resistance right there. So you can't even talk about 21,420 unless you close above 20,200. Fed Evans came out and said he's nervous about breaking things, hiking too fast. Yeah, that should make the market rethink its bullishness today. It's hard to do analysis 10 minutes after waking up. It is. I do it, but I'm sure it's not good for everybody. Yeah, I read that. BTC may be seeing a rejection near the 50% of the monthly range. Maybe. Yeah. That's a good thing to be aware of as well. Fantastic. That's good analysis. Yeah. That's about the midpoint of the candle. I mean, that's about where you're trading. Yeah, it was bearish. This month was bearish all the way down there. You took out monthly support, but obviously the close in 3 days is going to be vital. Just because you traded under support means nothing. If you close above it, that'll be good. It'll be more bullish than bearish for sure. Last, 4 months you've been trading at this support and holding it. So, yeah, good call. Good call. I like it. Keep an eye on it. Watch daily closures. People that moved from California are saying F this. Moved from California to where? All of YouTubers I've learned the most from you. Thank you, Heath. Hey, you're welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. John, the rain in the background is nice. Yeah, it's raining pretty good out here. Can you check Tesla? Yes. So it's building in a range here, or it has already built in a range, and it's holding support. But that's the first time you've tested it since you traded away from it. So I would probably range this or fib it if you wanted, and maybe look for around that area to kind of act as resistance. Like in here around 293.31 or 298. And then the 300 would be the big figure number. Maybe it finds resistance there. But you're at the bottom, you're closer to the bottom of the range, so you don't want to be too quick to jump on any short trades on that. If you want to be a buyer on Tesla, then that's support until it breaks. Yeah, I mean, $251.57 could also be support, as that was weekly resistance. So if you do lose this area, you can see that was last week's range. Those 3 days, it's all it took to get down there. So people will be looking for bearish continuation off of that likely, but you're into support. So you could potentially watch that, all right? See if that acts as resistance. But let the resistance build in. Don't just short a first test. Right? You don't want to short just the first test. You did fill this little gap right here, and that might be all it takes. If that happens, then watch for a retest of hourly resistance. Well, I don't like shorting the middle of the ranges. Bitcoin pushing down lower here. Looks good. But yeah, I don't like shorting the middle of the ranges. But that's where I would watch that, and then let it build in. Like I was getting ready to say, let it build in. What I mean by that is you want to see it hold price for multiple hours, like 4 or 5 hourly candles, just range bound under. Let resistance build in, then look to attack. And you will be looking to attack, obviously, early, before 11 o'clock, because in the stock market, since you do have your opens and closes at 9:30 in the morning, and then 4 o'clock is the close on the daily range for the New York Stock Exchange, you want to be in an entry before 11 o'clock, because with statistics, we know that the high or low of day is usually in by 11 a.m. All right, so if you're looking for shorts, naturally you want to be short around the high of day, and you will know that, or, it doesn't happen all the time, guys. It's statistics and probabilities. The mathematical probable edge tells us that at 11 o'clock, something like 70% of the time, the low or high of day is already in for the day. So you want to be in the position before 11. Yeah, we just talked about Tesla. Let resistance build in around 290.40. If it gets up there, if this candle rejects, then watch that candle for resistance tomorrow potentially. Right? I would much rather use the daily close, but if the daily close bearish, then you can't, right? If it closes bullish, wherever this thing closes, watch for that to be support tomorrow, potentially. It's hard for me to say anything else about it because there's not a trade on it today. Not for me, not for this style. There's just not a setup. The 50% of the monthly is right at a major trendline resistance as well. That's nice. Can you look at XRP? Yeah, that also was a good one to watch for potential shorts, only because it's been in the news with the trial versus the SEC. So you've gotten a really nice bounce there. Today would have been a good place to short at supply. You can see it plain as day. That would have been the area where I would have been looking for short entries for today's range. You got that test at what time? The London session open. See? This is why we only look to take trades during the early London open from 2 to 3 a.m. and then in the New York session, 7 to 10. Those are the 2 times of day where you look for entries. And you look for those entries at the levels you learn on this channel. But there you go. That would have been the place for the short, and nice reaction after. The next 3 hours was straight down. That would have been good. It's not a big range, but it still was a profitable trade. Look at the VIX, man. My goodness, that would have been a decent trade on the VIX. Buying support. $30. You're at $32. You could have made $2 on every call you had. Not bad. Based off support. Intraday support. Remember, that was like the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, and 8 hour support. That is called confluence. Lots of confluence there, baby. And now you're trying to break out of this bull flag there. Yeah, that's going to be great for our trade if this breaks out. We're going to be short situated at today's high. That'd be nice. Nice to see it go. Beautiful. But yeah, since it's been in the news, you did get a nice big rally. You can see that people are still trying to buy it because, well, that's what retail does. They buy highs. Next place to be a seller, because if this holds as support, the next place to look would be 50.50653, as that is daily resistance. So if support here holds here or tomorrow, and then you get a pretty good sized bounce, this would be the best place to look for short entries moving on. If the VIX starts to get really bullish, guys, then the S&P 500, Bitcoin, XRP, a lot of these things are going to roll right back over. And XRP is what I would consider one of my favorite assets to watch for those short entries, because you are 50% up off of the bear market low. So that gives you plenty of meat on the bone. If you do catch the short around the high, you got all the way down to there to potentially go. Instead of shorting Bitcoin at the freaking support, right? We might have caught it. We'll see. We'll know in a day or two if we got it or not. It's good stuff. I took a short on Euro USD. Let's go look at it, Wes, and then we'll wrap it up shortly here. We have been going for an hour and 25 minutes, and we made money. Nice job, Short and Wes. Let's get it on Oanda, because that Forex.com looks like crap. You didn't tell me where. Entry, top of the 7 a.m. candle. Right there. Mr. West shorted intraday resistance. Mr. West did good. Mr. West is also in a worse place for this storm than I am. He's on the other side of the coast. All right. Good shot. Good, nice move. I'm sure you took profits there at 96.075 because you've been a member in the Discord for a long time. So you pretty much got it. Good job. Gap gone now. Roll over time. Potentially. Yeah. If we can get the VIX, if it can get some bullish momentum, then yeah, we'll see a lot of these things. A lot of these things roll right back over. But yeah, XRP, put it on the watch. I like it for a longer term short play. That's if the markets stay bearish. That's only if that occurs. What was the Tesla support above 251? No, support was the bottom of the range down here, 270.21. And then you got another potential support at 253.21. Let resistance build in if you're looking for shorts. If you're looking for longs, then, longs are going to be contingent on if the S&P 500 looks for new bear market lows or not. If we're making fresh lows, we're not looking to be a buyer yet. We want it if we want the market to basically point out what it wants to do. I think if we get another CPI print lower, you will have 3 lower prints. That makes a trend. I think risk will find a bid. That's just my opinion, obviously, but that's what I think. So if that occurs, then yeah, look to buy support. But if the market continues to make fresh bear market lows, you want to wait until an obvious longer term support, like a monthly or a weekly support, is found, then look to be a buyer there. I can show you what I mean here. Let me go ahead and just make it full screen. So you didn't get a retest here, but this would have been something like that, right? Monthly closes are lower, lower, lower. This one comes in right at an area of potential support. Long-term range support on the monthly. So when you traded down to this, once you got back above it, you could have been a buyer and you could have thrown your stop below there based on that support. That is the lowest close in this range. So that's where you would have been looking for support. And the bear market will be the same, right? So if you do make fresh bear market lows on the S&P 500, then I expect you to make fresh bear market lows on this. But you do have a longer term range monthly support setting at 208. So same scenario, get a big down monthly close under it. As soon as price gets back above it, that's where you could look to be a buyer. Throw your stop under that. That's only if the bear market continues. If it doesn't, you could look for places to be buyers on pullbacks. You've been trading in a range for 2 months, essentially. But your last range busting candle was bullish. So on a monthly basis, the last 3 months, you would probably be looking to buy support. A fresh monthly low or something. Or at a support. It's just hard to get a gauge on everything right now. Because there's still a lot of stuff out there that is really, really bearish. Right? With the Fed coming out saying, I think we hiked too much. Now, obviously, that wasn't Powell saying that. If Powell said that, then I would be concerned. But it's another central banker, so there's weight there for sure. That should be good for our trade today then. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time. Once again, if you want to join Bitget and trade on the cheapest feed platform, there's a link in the description. I will pin it as the first comment in the comments with also the link to get to the Discord if you wanted to be there. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you Thursday if I have electricity, and we'll look for another trade. You guys have a fantastic day. Make sure you trade safe. Make sure you trade smart. And as always, happy trading, everybody.